So, what do we learn this week about approach of the cats in standard? And I don't know what to say. We ended up going 5-0 with our deck. We played some interesting matchups. A lot of prowess decks, a token deck, a black aggro deck, also a teamer energy deck. So we played a weird mix of like tier decks and kind of more roguish decks or under the radar decks. But still, going 5-0, kind of regardless of what you play against, is not a bad finish and pretty impressive for the deck. So I still feel like the deck is awkward. Like, it's just so strange and so weird. The two plans don't necessarily synergize together in any significant way. I guess like our sacred cat lets us chump block twice while we're waiting to get to approach. So I still am not convinced that this is a great idea to be like half creature deck, half cat deck, half approach of the second sun control deck. It's really an awkward mixture of different kind of game plans put together. The Sacred Cats and Regal Carkles kind of want you to be aggressive, especially a Dorn Pouncer, while Gideons and Castouts and Fumigates kind of want you to slow the game down. So, I don't know. I will say there were some times where having Approach of the Second Sons in our deck let us beat decks we wouldn't have beat if we were just a creature deck. Like against Abzan tokens, our opponent pretty much stabilized the board. We weren't going to be able to win with our creatures. They were making tons of tokens. They just shut down the aspect of our deck. And we were like, oh, okay, well, we draw Approach of the Second Sons and beat you. There were other times where if we were just on the approach plan and trying to go super, super late game, we probably would have been dead to our opponent's Enigma Drakes and other aggressive creatures that were coming at us. We didn't have enough time to get to our Approach of the Second Sons, and either gaining life from the cats or just winning the game with our creatures let us win games where approach wasn't good. So maybe there's more synergy between these two plans than it feels like. There's definitely some awkwardness where you're like, all right, we really need a Fumigate and you draw a Sacred Cat, or we really need a Regal Coracle and you draw an Approach of the Second Sons. So there is certainly some awkwardness there, but like I said, we went 5-0, so it's not like we can really complain too much about it. I will say, one thing I was very impressed with as far as this deck is concerned wasn't so much the plan of approaching with creatures, etc., 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 but the plan of using strategic planning's Champion of Wits combined with embalmed creatures. That's a really surprisingly good synergy. And while Adorn Pouncer isn't like an insane magic card, it's decent, but it's not absurd. Sacred Cat, just a 1/1. The ability to loot with Champion of Wits and discard cards that we're going to actually be able to cast essentially from our graveyard makes Champion of Wits really insane. Same with strategic planning. Like, yes, we're getting a Gideon, we're getting a Regal Coracle, but when we're also milling over an Adorn Pouncer or a Sacred Cat, it's kind of like we're drawing two cards for 2 mana, which makes it way, way better. So I think I've talked before about trying to come away with one thing every time we play a deck. And I'm not trying to talk down on this deck that we just went 5-0 with. So obviously this deck can work as is. We just won 5 out of 5 games with it. So I'm not saying that, but I think the thing I was most impressed with the deck was that synergy of kind of the card draw, the graveyard fillers combined with embalmed creatures. So it really makes me want to build some sort of banned or blue-white embalm type deck, build around Champion of the Wits, strategic planning, and some of the more powerful embalm creatures we have in the format. Green has some good ones with the big 6/6 Hydra for 4 mana when you embalm it. So there's some interesting things, I think, with embalm that we haven't explored yet, and this deck made me really excited to try that out. So I think overall, Approach of the Cats, fine as is. Like, we went 5-0, it feels a little awkward. Even when we were winning, it felt a little awkward, but the plan obviously does work to some extent because we just won 5 games with it. But it really made me excited to try out some embalm synergies because I was very impressed with strategic planning, very impressed with Champion Wits. As far as this deck, if you're going to just play this deck, I don't think you have to change anything, except I have no idea what the Walking Ballistas are doing in the deck. I guess they're just there for value, but I never really figured out the Walking Ballistas or why they're in the deck, so we ended up sideboarding them out a lot of the time, so I think those are certainly flex slots. Otherwise, we went 5-0, so you can certainly perform well enough with Approach of the Cats that you can get some wins with it. So anyway, that's been our Much Abrew About Nothing for this week. Approach of the Cats for Ixalan Standard. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.